Hello, this is German Simonsen, and welcome to this GLITTERTInd podcast number 2. In the last podcast, we talked about the possibilities to make music that sounds good, from a production perspective. Now, I want to talk about where the music comes from, and what we base our musical choices on, because that is the foundation, and that decides how we think, and then how we make music. We see the effect of this foundation most clearly when we try to make music in another genre than the one we're normally making music in. The genre we know best is often the foundation we're standing on, so when we try something else, it's easy to run out of musical choices. The place that has changed my musical view the most was schools. I spent 7 years learning music at schools, and some people are negative about studying at schools. They say that you lose the uniqueness and you lose the feeling by being trained. But one forgets that as a musician, you should use every opportunity to learn from others. And the sum of everything that you learned becomes your musical foundation. And I think that's true, whether you study or not. So what's the real and what's the unique? That's a very difficult question. The answer might be that the unique, that's how you put things together. And what you put together is something you loan from someone else. You got the riff from Led Zeppelin, the bass line from Thelonious Monk, the groove from hip hop. The combination might be unique, and your treatment of it is unique. So what's the foundation of Djevelsvart? As a band, we come from multiple directions. Torbjörn is rooted in punk and metal. Stefan, the flutist, has his roots in folk, country and strange classical music. Björn, the bassist, has a classical background and a bit of progressive rock, and the distance from classical to progressive rock is not so big. Olav, the guitarist, has jazz as his foundation, and Geir, the drummer, is concerned with everything folk. When I started making music, I was inspired by electronic music, and later it became jazz and classical. Stefan was the one who showed me strange folk music, and Torbjörn showed me the music that he liked. The mix of genres has defined the album, and that's a good thing. In the last podcast we played Nymone, something that comes from Stefan's universe, but here we have the melody of Djevelsvart, a melody with a Lydian scale, typical for Norwegian folk. And we have a reference to the Killers. Sundriven is a bit back to the 80s, with its melodious guitar solo. The effect use is more modern. In Sprekk for Sol, the melody is inspired by modern classical music. It's resembling 12-tone music, but the background is modern with elements of electronic music. The electronic inspiration peaks under the solo, but here we borrowed from Rage Against the Machine. Trollbund is a musical combined with ska. And in the middle part, we're stealing from Beatles, from A Day in the Life, where the orchestra has a crescendo and then is replaced by a piano. That's all for now. Thank you for listening, and I hope you find it interesting.